Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much, guys, for your greatest support. Now, fellow Kenyans, I'm sorry to say this, but just allow me to say it. Sometimes comparison is very dangerous. Trying to compare yourself with other people is normally a very dangerous thing, and it can really end up making you look like a fool, or it can make you look like a very stupid guy. I'm saying this because of what I want us to discuss in this video. But before you do that, let me humbly request you that if at all we are meeting for the first time, please don't forget to click the subscribe button. You can as well like, you can share, drop me your comment in the comment section, tell me what you think and where exactly you are watching this video from. My name is Boniface Owino, and this is Bonita Media. I've started by saying that making yourself foolish by comparing yourself or wanting to compare yourself with others is one of the most stupid things that you should never even dream of. Because when you try to compare, okay, comparison isn't bad, but now what is your intention of comparing yourself with others? And then another thing is, who are you comparing yourself with? As far as that comparison is concerned, okay, let's assume that now you've been given that room of comparing yourself with others. Who are you comparing yourself with? I'm asking this question because of Oscar SUDI. You know, it's I don't know whether I should say that it is an insult to SIFUNA, the same way it can be an insult to Babu Owino, the same way it can be an insult to Otiende Amolo, the same way it can be an insult to James Orengo, or the same way it can be an insult to Ndindi Nyoro or any other person. Oscar SUDI comparing himself with them. In this case, Oscar SUDI decided that he must compare himself with Edwin SIFUNA and say that he's more intelligent, that his IQ is working way better than Edwin SIFUNA. I want you to listen to this before we really talk about it.
Can you compare me with you, SIFUNA? You know, my IQ and your IQ, it is not even a quarter. Every day you insult this one, you rubbish that, the other one. Oh, you know. So let me. Can you go and ask people or ask your friends if
now you are a Kenyan? We've been in this country for a very long time. Of course, we know all these our politicians, all these people, we know them. We know those who went to school. We know those who pretended that they went to school, and we know those who really went. Tunajua wale ambao walienda shule. Tunajua wale ambao walipitia shule. Na kuna wale ambao tunajua kwamba wanajifanya kwamba walienda shule na ilhali hawakuenda hata shule, hata kukanyaga au kukanyaga. We know all of them. So somebody like Oscar SUDI Faruki bet. Oscar SUDI anasema kwamba is a school dropout. I don't know. A class is anakuwa class, mwenye anajua anaweza niambia kwenye comment section. Oscar SUDI anakuwa class ngapi? Is that class 2 dropout or class 4? Standard 6. Ama standard 6 ni Faruki bet. I really don't know. So, no, tuseme tu kweli Kenyans. How does it look when Oscar SUDI tries to compare himself with Edwin SIFUNA? Na unasikia anasema kwamba his IQ is working so well that it's way better than Edwin SIFUNA. Or perhaps maybe I'm the one who doesn't understand what is the meaning of IQ. Maybe mimi ndio sielewi IQ inamaanisha nini. Ndio maana najaribu kuchanganyikiwa hapa, nachanganywa na Oscar SUDI kusema kwamba his IQ is working way better than Edwin SIFUNA's. Kwa sababu, tell me how that one is. No, just explain to me that as a primary kid or a kindergarten kid on how such a thing works. You understand? I just want to know I just want to be told, I just want you to tell me that, okay, you know, when it comes to issues to do with the IQ, it's very much different from wisdom, from intelligence. Because IQ is in intelligence. Kwani ni nini? Sasa kusema tu kweli, unataka kuniambia kwamba Oscar Sudi anaweza kafanya hizi vitu zote, anaweza kazungumza hivi venye Edwin Sifuna anazungumza?
Not allow anyone to bully me in this house. I did not come here because of Cheruyot's graces. I was elected by the people of Nairobi. He is not bigger than anyone in this house.
Senator Sifuna.
If you cannot throw Senator Cheruyot out for the misbehavior, then there are no rules in this house. There are no rules in this house. Hakuna mtu atatutisha hapa. Majority leader, I am on the floor. Why are you heckling us? Why are you heckling us? This is not your house. Is Senator Cheruyot above the law, Honorable Speaker?
Order, Senators.
He can't heckle like this, Honorable Speaker. How is it in order for somebody who's younger than me to call himself my elder? We need society. And in this particular house, Honorable Speaker, there is nothing like seniority coming from how old you are. It is what is in your brain. It is what is in your head. So you can't come here heckling and telling us you are senior to us, Honorable Cheruyot. You are just lucky that I have been directed to be nice. Otherwise, you would have seen the full wrath of Edwin Sifuna. Honorable Speaker, leave me alone. Honorable Speaker, it is very unfair. If it was Senator Sifuna behaving like this heckler from Kericho, I would have been thrown out by now. I would have been thrown out by now. I would have been thrown out by now. Can you apply the rules equally? No, apply the rules equally. Apply the rules equally. Honorable Speaker, I wanted to say lastly. No, throw him out, brother. One is he above the law? He's not above the law. He's not above the law. You are not above the law, Senator Cheruyot. No.
Senator Sifuna. Senator Sifuna.
Let me conclude.
Before you conclude, there is a point of order. Before you conclude, Senator Cheruyot, what is your point of order?
How can somebody who is out of order be given a point of order?
So the plan appears to be to squeeze Kenyans as much as possible until year 4. And then at year 4, you start saying, oh, now we are going, we are coming. You can have your subsidy if you want. You can have this, you can have that. I am telling you, Osoro, we will make sure that Kenyans do not forget the pain that you've inflicted on them. Okay. And the consequences of electing incompetent people who cannot admit that are unable to run a country.
Anyway, that one you tell me at the comment section. The second story is about our women. And I've been asking this question. And I will keep on asking this question day in, day out, year in, year out, until we'll come to a point that we'll come into an agreement and understand, or maybe talk from the same level. You understand? Why do we have women as leaders in this country? Is there any benefit, or is there anything that these women are giving us, or are benefiting us from or with? Because tell me why these women are feeling like William Ruto is really working, whereas the other gender is seeing William Ruto like a failure. Esther Passaris, a 65 years old woman, sure, is saying that I know Ruto is a reasonable person and a astute politician, and he wants a second term to serve this nation. He is a very humble man. Perhaps maybe I'm the one who doesn't understand who a humble man is, or who a humble person is. You understand? Maybe I'm the one who doesn't understand the kind of humbleness that Esther Passaris is talking about. But when I'm asked maybe to describe the kind of person William Ruto is, I would say that William Ruto is one of the most arrogant guys that we've ever met. Because the kind of arrogance that is with William Ruto is beyond repair. It's beyond recognition. It's something that it's beyond, it cannot be explained. You can't explain it. When it reaches a point that somebody is saying that he's more educated, like he's the one with the PhD, you know, doctorate in the country, na akili yake inafanya, yani anaita watu wengine wapumbavu, it shows you that that guy can't say that he's so humble. So when somebody like Esther Passaris is trying to tell us that William Ruto is very humble, I really find it difficult to get. He goes ahead and says, talks about Edwin Sifuna. And he says that I look at Sifuna, if he was really a child of Baba, then he knows where Baba left him. He left him in the broad-based arrangement, and he is out of line with what Baba would have been doing. If Baba were alive today, we wouldn't have been seeing this. Of course, when Raila was alive today, we wouldn't have seen this because Raila wouldn't allow such things to happen. Raila wouldn't allow people to send Edwin Sifuna away simply because of his ideologies, simply because his ideologies are different from those ones that wants to benefit from this government. So that is why you have to accept that Raila could have not seen this. Raila angefukuzwa Edwin Sifuna ODM because Raila is the one that said that Edwin Sifuna speaks on behalf of the party. So how come someone who speaks on behalf of the party wants to be sent away by the party leader? And that one shows how Oburu Odinga has really destroyed this party. You understand? That one tells you how Oburu Odinga aliamua kabisa kumaliza ODM party. Because aliingia kwenye chama akajiona kwamba he is the boss without asking questions, without asking, okay, this one, how was it happening? Yes, he was, it's like Oburu Odinga ni mtu mwenye anaishi Kenya, ni mtu mwenye anajua ODM party ilikuwa, how was it run? Yet he was there. Oburu Odinga has been there for a very long time and he knew how this thing was running. So this issue of trying to blame Edwin Sifuna, Edwin Sifuna, blah blah, this and that, I think it should stop, and it's something that these guys should not even be talking about. Personally, feel like we need to be seeing something different. We are supposed to be seeing different things, happening. At least we are supposed to be seeing a different ODM. You understand? An ODM that Raila, a better ODM than the way Raila left it. But now what we are seeing is that we are seeing the worst ODM that after Raila angekuwa. Actually, what I believe is that in as much as maybe people thought that Raila Odinga betrayed them, of course that is what the Gen Z believes, that Raila betrayed them when they wanted to send William Ruto away or home. But we wouldn't be seeing these things that we are seeing. So I really don't know what you think concerning what is happening. But personally, what I think or what I believe is that these women, they are not supposed to be given a chance to speak. Because the more they're given chance to speak, the more they destroy everything. The more they talk about what they want, the more they talk about how they want things to be run, how they want things to be. But I feel like there is a way that these things needs to be handled. There is a way that these women are supposed to even, hata kama ni uongozi basi, mimi naomba tu tusichague wanawake tena. Because the more they get into the office, the more hiyo uongozi inaingia kwa akili yao, and then they feel like, they are better than men. We can speak better than men. We can speak fluent. We can do better. We can do things better than men. What men can do, women can do better. It's a lie. There is no single day that a woman can do what a man is doing better. No, not a single day. Anyway, fellow Kenyans, I would like to give you a chance at the comment section. Tell me what you think concerning these two videos. Oscar SUDI saying that he is more intelligent than Edwin Sifuna, and then Esther Passaris is also praising William Ruto by saying that William Ruto is the best and the most humble man that has ever been seen, that has never existed under the sun, and also trying to blame Edwin Sifuna for what is happening and saying that, Edwin Sifuna was not Baba's child. Suppose he was Baba's child, he could have remained where Raila Odinga left him. Until we meet again in the next video, if it is possible, I have been your host, Bob Feseno. Please don't forget to subscribe.
Misadventure. I wish to remind Governor Sakaja that the Senate in fact directed that those NMS pending bills were the responsibility of State House, from where he was speaking yesterday, since the accounting officer for NMS was the comptroller. He should have used the opportunity yesterday to remind the president that thousands of contractors and workers are still owed money by State House, and their livelihoods remain in peril as Ruto continues to ignore them. This agreement is a blatant continuation of the NMS model, and with it, the culture of unpaid bills, weak audit systems, and unbridled corruption. Fourthly,
it is in the public knowledge that the national government owes Nairobians over 100 billion shillings in unpaid rates and other payables from national government institutions. Ruto throwing around the figure of 80 billion as a symbol of his generosity to the people of Nairobi is nothing but a ruse. Fifthly, the national government continues to hold on to functions that are solidly county functions under the 4th schedule of the Constitution. For instance, the Constitution recognizes only 2 levels of roads, and that is national trunk roads and county roads. Kenyans must note that national government agencies like Kura and Kera continue to insist on doing roads in Nairobi when they clearly need to hand over those roads and the attendant resources to the county government of Nairobi. In fact, the late Baba Raila Amolo Odinga repeatedly called for the disbandment of these 2 agencies, going so far as including the full unbundling of the functions in the MOU he signed with President Ruto in March of 2025. Ruto continues to not only ignore that MOU, but to actively violate it as demonstrated by the so-called cooperation agreement. In addition, there exist constitutional and legal ways to channel funds to specific counties in recognition of their unique needs and status. These include additional allocations and conditional grants. Examples of these grants include grants to counties to construct headquarters and industrial parks. By the way, you should know Nairobi doesn't receive any of those funds, but other counties receive. If indeed we needed national government to build a world-class market at Gikomba, we can channel resources to the county government of Nairobi to build that world-class market through similar instruments. Lastly, it is my considered view that arrangements such as NMS and the proposed cooperation agreement unnecessarily obfuscate and complicate oversight and accountability processes by the assemblies, the Senate, and the Office of the Auditor General. The President at every turn dismisses concerns raised by both the people and their representatives as noise. He asked those with alternative ideas to give those ideas. Mr. President, I have said before that it is possible to govern and achieve development within the confines of the law, and I want to demonstrate this today. Here is what I would have done. Number 1, direct that all national government agencies that owe monies to the people of Nairobi immediately clear their obligations, which are in excess of Kenya shillings 100 billion, and let the County Assembly of Nairobi ring-fence those monies towards development projects, including roads, markets, drainage, garbage collection, and the payment of pending bills. By the way, Nairobi still holds the highest amount of pending bills, over 100 billion shillings, so that if we were paid the 100 billion shillings that the national government owes us, we can clear those pending bills. Number 2, immediately transfer all county functions to counties in accordance with the Constitution and the MOU that you signed with Raila Odinga. Dissolve Kura and Kera as per his advice, and channel all their budgets to the Nairobi County government to do our roads. Number 3, utilize existing legal instruments such as Kara and conditional grants to channel additional funds to Nairobi for streetlights and markets, noting the unique security needs of the capital county. 4, direct Treasury to honor the disbursement schedule passed by the Senate that legally requires them to transmit county shareable revenue by 15th of every month. You have heard us in the Senate complain of frequent delays, and the Council of Governors as well, frequent delays in disbursement of the shareable revenue, which is part of the problems, the causes of the problems in the counties. And you have heard that a state institution such as State House has already expended its entire budget 4 to 3 months before the end of the financial year. Yet, county governments are behind 3 to 4 months in terms of receipt of their allocation. So you see, Mr. President, it is possible to remain faithful to your oath of office. We want development, but only if undertaken in strict accordance with the Constitution. This is, in fact, is the very foundation of leadership. I want to take this opportunity to urge both parties, my Governor Sakaja and the President, to shelve this agreement in the public interest and maintain fidelity to the Constitution through those ways that I have suggested to them. I thank you. This is my statement. I will take questions, if any. Yes.
Given that you have talked about the legal breaches following that particular collaboration, could we be seeing you moving to court or taking any legal action?
Yes, the agreement is expressed to take effect within 14 days. Now, I have publicly called on them to explore legal and constitutional means to be able to achieve all the things that they wanted to achieve in that agreement. If it is not possible for them to consider this request by the Senate of the People, we will use all available means, legal and otherwise, to be able to enforce adherence to the Constitution, including through our Senate committees. And this matter will find itself in the floor of the Senate very soon, as you will see.
Senator, you talked about the audit and oversight.
Absolutely.
Of the 80 billion. We saw what happened with NMS. If this cooperation or collaboration goes on, will be oversight in this area?
That is the question. That is a very fantastic question, and that is what I have said in the statement here, that it actually complicates the audit process. Do we call this committee to the Public Accounts Committee? When the Auditor General goes to do her audit at the county government, and she's told, oh, some of the documents are at National Treasury, the others are SUDI where, it becomes very difficult for her to do her job. And that is why we are saying, let us maintain fidelity to the Constitution. There are ways to channel monies. For instance, I've given you the example of county aggregation parks. Nairobi does not get any money for building of an aggregation park. If you ask the governor himself, he will say his priority is a market at Gikomba. Why can't we use the same instrument to give us money to do the market at Gikomba? So that is what we are saying. It actually complicates the audit process and the oversight process. Yes.
My name is Omar from West TV.
Yes.
Senator, is it enough to tell the President and the Governor to share that agreement now that they are working backwards, signing and then going for public participation? What is the likely scenario for them to happen so that we can...
I don't know if you have come in late, because we have addressed the question of public participation. We have said it is to make a mockery of the public. For you to do something, then you say you're going to do public participation on it. It means that you've already made up your mind and that you're going to do an exercise that is cosmetic. Number two, they have said the agreement takes force within 14 days from yesterday. That tells you that we have under 13 days to be able to complete that public participation. I've also pointed out to you that if you read at the agreement at clause 6.2, they are saying any amendments that will arise from the public participation will be included. They are not anticipating a scenario where the people of Nairobi say we are rejecting the entire thing. So, and there are other clauses in the document itself that say the parties can enter into supplemental agreements without the participation of the people. So we are saying, shelve this thing, go through a proper process. There are legal mechanisms for you to channel money if the need of Nairobi, for instance, has been identified as unique, just the way the other counties receive money for unique purposes like building of headquarters and building of county aggregation parks. We can be given a conditional grant to do our street lighting in Nairobi and retain fidelity to the Constitution.
Chris,
yes.
From Ramogi TV.
Yes, Chris.
During the signing of that cooperation agreement or cooperation deal between the Nairobi County and the national government, the President and the Governor said that Nairobi need to be given special treatment akin to what happens in other cities like London, as opposed to what is happening now when they are being given allocation just like any other county. Do you feel like Nairobi needs that special treatment?
Chris, I thought you were in the room when we began this statement. Just go through the statement I have given, that the Urban Areas and Cities Act was passed in 2012. William Ruto was deputy president. In fact, they called him a co-president in 2013. They, together with Uhuru Kenyatta, were given the responsibility by Kenyans to be the first administration to be able to implement this constitution. So we are wondering, how has it suddenly become clever and noticed that there is a law called the Urban Areas and Cities Act? It requires that you give Nairobi support, yes. But we are saying there are constitutional means for you to channel this support, as I've given you the examples of the conditional grants and the additional allocation. What is not clear about that?
Do you think it was a mistake to have Nairobi as a county?
No, it's not a mistake to have Nairobi as a county. The people of Nairobi are Kenyans like all the other people. That unique nature of Nairobi was recognized. I will give you another example. We have something called the Equalization Fund. The Equalization Fund was embedded in the Constitution after recognition that there are areas that had been traditionally marginalized. And if you read the language of the Constitution on the marginalization fund, or the Equalization Fund, it says that we need to put in place some special funds to bring the level of infrastructure in those areas to the standard ordinarily enjoyed by the rest of the other counties. So there is a special fund for that. The Urban Areas and Cities Act also recognizes that Nairobi as a seat of power, that Nairobi as a seat of diplomacy, has certain unique needs. For instance, the bill we pay on electricity alone for streetlights cannot be compared to any other county. That is what the Urban Areas and Cities Act is for. But you do not enter into such agreements to circumvent the constitution. This is a power grab through the back door. There are legal instruments for you to be able to advance that support, recognizing that Nairobi is unique. So if, say, Bungoma needs a county aggregation park, and they don't need streetlights as much as we do, give them money through the conditional allocation and the additional allocation for their industrial park, and give us ours for streetlights. Do you see are there any similar cooperation agreements with any other counties? There are none. And also the president must tell us, Nairobi is not the only city in Kenya. There are 3 more other cities. As recently as last year, we gave a charter to Eldoret. So will there be similar agreements with those other cities? Or what is so special that he has seen here in Nairobi?
Yeah, Senator, I'm really from the start. I have one question. I heard the governor yesterday especially on education. For example, on the school feeding program, we have signed another one on bursary issue, the issue of bursary and the scholarship. I don't know how is it that from this perspective, or even the work for the school feeding and the are following the same category of
Yes, you are talking about there was a decision by the control of budget that before a level of government undertakes the functions of another level, there has to be an agreement between those 2 levels of government. And for instance, when it came to education, education is stated as a national government function, especially the counties only deal with ECDs. So when you are giving bursaries without a framework that allows you to do that, that is what that agreement relates to. This one is very different. This one is very different because they are not saying that they are going to undertake national government functions or that they are going to undertake county government functions. That's not what they are saying. In fact, they were very clear yesterday that it has nothing to do with transfer of functions. But it is actually transfer of functions hidden as an untransfer of functions. And the legal problems that we have, again, ladies and gentlemen, you have to go through the statement that I have made. An agreement such as was signed yesterday, I am sure those negotiations have been going on for months. The right thing to do would have been to tell the public, the people of Nairobi and the County Assembly and the Senate, that we are anticipating getting into this, agreement, and have people input into those discussions that you're having, and then reach a final document, then you sign. But for them to have been sitting in a corner somewhere hiding, having this conversation, then we're just told there's a signing ceremony tomorrow. It's like you are being told to come to a wedding ceremony, but the parents will meet next week to discuss whether they consent that their children should be married. It's ridiculous.
So your problem is the process or the whole thing?
I think I will let my statement speak for itself. I have gone to great detail from the beginning to the end to explain the issues that I have cited in this statement. Thank you. Kwanza hauhitaji ushahidi wote kwa sababu jana rais mwenyewe alisema kwamba kaunti ya Nairobi imefeli katika kazi zake. So muulize rais. Rais ametembea jijini, ameona kuna takataka kila mahali, ameona kuna shida kila mahali, amesema jiji hili linaendeshwa vibaya. Maneno ya rais mwenyewe. Na mlikuweko na yeye huko na State House jana. Sijui mbona ukumuuliza. Nashukuru sana. Wacha tukomee hapo tafadhali. Aya. Kwanza natoa usemi huu kama seneta wa kaunti ya Nairobi. Kuwajulisha wananchi kuna masuala muhimu ambaye lazima yaulizwe kuhusu mkataba huu. Jambo la kwanza ni kwamba chini ya sheria ya Kenya, chochote ambacho serikali inafanya, serikali kuu ama serikali ya ugatuzi, lazima iwe kwa kuambatana na katiba. Katiba ya Kenya inahitaji kwamba unapofanya mkataba kama huu lazima tuhusishwe sisi kama wananchi wa Nairobi. Haiwezekani kwamba mtie kidole sahihi ama mtie sahihi mkataba kisha mtuambie kwamba mtakuja kutuhusisha baadaye. Inaonyesha dharau kwa wananchi, inaonyesha dharau kwa viongozi, inaonyesha kwamba tayari mmeafikia mambo fulani na sasa mnataka tu sisi kututumia kana kwamba kuwekelea rubber stamp pale. Nataka niwaambie wananchi wa Nairobi kwamba mimi kama seneta wao sikuhusishwa pale popote katika mazungumzo haya. Mara ya kwanza tumesikia kuhusu mazungumzo haya ni wakati ambapo tumeitwa kwa ndoa ya uhalalishaji hapo jana, ya kwamba tuende kushuhudia jambo hili. Sadly, ama jambo lingine, ukiangalia ile kamati ambayo imewekwa pale ya kusimamia mpango huu mzima, imewajaza wale ambao ni wanaondokea katika serikali kuu. Ukiangalia kwa kamati ya watu 12, utakuta kwamba ni watu wanne peke yao ambao wanawakilisha county government ya Nairobi, na tunaona kwamba hiyo sio cooperation, hiyo ni kama ni takeover. Jambo lingine ni kwamba serikali kuu na mashirika yake hapa Nairobi, tunawadai sisi kama wana Nairobi zaidi ya shilingi bilioni 100. Kwa hivyo Ruto kurusha shilingi bilioni 80 na kutuambia kwamba sasa yeye ndio mkarimu sana, hiyo ni kutufumba sisi macho kama wana Nairobi. Tunajua kwamba iwapo angetoa zile pesa ambazo mashirika ya kitaifa na serikali yake zinadaiwa na kaunti ya Nairobi, tungeweza kuyafanya mambo ambayo anasema anaenda kuyafanya na zile bilioni 80, na tungebakisha masalio ile ya kutoa shilingi bilioni 20 ya kufanyia mambo mengine. Jambo lingine ni kwamba serikali kuu inaendelea kushikilia kazi ambayo inahitajika ifanywe na counties. Kwa mfano, mambo ya ujenzi wa barabara. Katiba ya Kenya inatambua barabara aina 2 peke yake, barabara za kitaifa na barabara za county. Kwa hivyo ukiona kuna mashirika ya serikali kuu ambaye yanajiita Kera na Kura, ambaye yanasisitiza kwamba wapewe bajeti za kufanya barabara hapa Nairobi, inapeleka kwamba hatujazipa counties functions zote na fedha zote ambazo zinafuatana na hizo counties, na ni baadhi ya zile jambo ambalo baba Raila Amolo Odinga marehemu alikuwa anashikilia sana. Akasema kwamba kazi zote ambazo ni za county pamoja na fedha ambazo zinaambatana na kazi hizo zipewe counties, na iko katika mkataba ule ambaye aliandikishana na Mheshimiwa William Ruto, ambaye unaenda kukamilika mapema mwezi ujao. Hiyo ndio tarehe ya mwisho. Ya mwisho kabisa nitakuelezea kwamba kuna njia mbadala za kuweza kuzipa counties fedha kulingana na mahitaji yao speciali. Kwa mfano, kuna counties ambazo zilikuwa hazina makao makuu, headquarters. Ukienda kama Mandera kwa mfano, walipewa pesa wakajenga county headquarters. County ya Nairobi haikupewa hizo pesa kwa sababu sisi tulikuwa na makao makuu ya county. Tukaendelea na hayo. Kuna counties ambazo zinapewa hizi fedha speciali za industrial park. Nairobi haipati hizo fedha. Manake hapa mahitaji yetu ni tofauti. Kwa hivyo kwa njia hiyo tunaweza kusema kwamba labda county ya Turkana haihitaji taa za barabarani jinsi ambavyo Nairobi sisi tunahitaji. Wao wakipata industrial park, sisi tupewe zetu katika hiyo sheria ambayo tunaita additional allocation ya resources ziweze kuja. Kwa hivyo William Ruto anaposema kwamba sisi tunapomkosoa ni kelele tu na hatuna mawazo mbadala, nataka kumwambia Mheshimiwa Rais, kuna uwezekano wa kutawala chini ya sheria na chini ya katiba, na nimempa njia mbadala ambazo zinaweza kupelekea kwamba tupate fedha za kufanya hizi kazi ambazo anasema pasi na kuharibu ama kukiuka katiba ya Kenya. Asante.